Hello and welcome to today's yoga class. My name is Brianne. Thank you so much for joining. We're going to be doing about a 20-minute warm-up and yoga stretch. Today I'm wearing my coral pink long sleeve crop top from my personal collection, My Earth Yoga. We're going to begin with some deep breaths, taking it in through the nose, filling up the belly, filling up the lungs, and exhaling through the mouth. And on your next inhale, raise hands up overhead, dropping the left arm, and we're going to extend the right over, stretching those intercostal muscles, stretching out the ribs, pressing the hip to the ground. And we'll move all the way back up and to the other side. Bringing the arms back up to center, we're going to drop the left and twist the body, bringing the right across, holding onto that knee and twisting, wringing out any tension that you have in the low back. And we'll move to the other side, dropping the right arm, twisting the left across, holding the knee, keeping those sit bones pressed into your mat. Coming back to center, we'll move to a forward fold all the way down, whatever's within your practice this morning, opening up those hips. Deep breath here. And coming back up, we're going to start to move the neck. So let's go ahead and bring your left ear down toward the shoulder. And just pressing the right shoulder down away from the ear. And we'll move to the other side, maybe noticing that one side is a little bit more tense than the other. And we'll drop the chin down toward the chest, rocking back and forth for a couple of breaths. When you're ready, we're going to move into a tabletop position. Wrists are below the shoulders, knees are below the hips, and we're going to go ahead and do some cat and cow, really exaggerating your cat pose. So coming all the way up, pressing the low back to the sky, rounding out, feeling each intercostal muscle opening up, and then dropping your belly down toward the ground. Back and forth for a couple like this. From here, we'll move into some bird dogs, warming up the low back. So left arm extends, right leg extends, and we're going to come touch the elbow to the knee, flexing the shoulder, flexing those thighs, nice and strong. Don't let your back dip as you straighten out. And we'll move to the other side, left leg, right arm, and remember we're tightening the core, straightening the leg, straightening the arm, reaching the elbow for the knee. And now we'll go ahead and start to warm up the glutes. You're going to extend your right leg back, up, and reach to the opposite side of the left leg, and back down, back and forth just like this, not allowing your back to dip. This is strictly focusing on the glute muscles. And we'll switch to the other side, extending that left leg. We're going to move across the right leg and back down, paying special attention to the glutes. Don't allow that back to arch. You can do that by keeping your core tight. From here, we're going to press back into our first downward facing dog. And let's pedal out the feet, warming up the calves, warming up the backs of the thighs. And from here, we're going to round out and move directly into a chaturanga, nice and strong, right down to your mat, pressing up into an upward facing dog, and pressing back into a downward facing dog, again, pedaling out those legs. And we'll do the same thing again. If this isn't within your practice this morning, feel free to hop onto your knees when transitioning between upward and downward facing dog. And from here, we're going to extend the left leg up overhead, right through between the hands, and we're going to press up into a warrior one. Strong legs here, keeping the back leg straight, flexing, keeping the core tight. Arms come out to either side. We're going to press back, dropping the right hand onto the right leg. Coming forward, left hand to the inside of the left leg while the right arm extends up overhead for a beautiful twist. And then quickly dropping the right arm and left arm comes up for a twist in the opposite direction, breathing into these poses. Bringing the left hand down to meet the right. We're going to bring that right leg back in toward the left and slowly roll vertebrae by vertebrae all the way up to a standing mountain pose. Taking one big inhale, hands come up overhead. And as you exhale, we will come back down, forward fold. Pressing nose to knees, halfway lift, and back down. And if it's within your practice today, we will hop or step down into a chaturanga, upward facing dog, deep breath in, and as we exhale, we'll move into a downward facing dog. And we'll move to the other side. We're going to extend the right leg up overhead, planting the foot between the hands, and we're going to move up into a warrior one. Nice and strong, flexing that back leg, keeping the core nice and tight. Arms up, and we're going to drop the left hand down onto the left leg, reaching up past those fingertips, keeping strong. Don't allow yourself to dip down. And we'll bring that right hand down to the inside of the right leg, extending the left up overhead. Breathing. And dropping, opposite hand comes up for a nice twist. And on your next inhale, we'll bring that left leg in to meet the right. Coming up, moving directly into a chair pose, holding here. Feet are nice and close together, just less than hip distance apart. And if it's within your practice today, you're going to extend the right leg back. We're going to warm up the legs here. And left leg, keeping that nice low posture. And right leg, moving back and forth. Core is tight, maintaining balance. Coming back up to standing, we're going to move now into a dancer's pose. So find yourself in the center of your mat. Find something that's stationary within the room in front of you. You're going to bring the right foot up to meet the right hand, extending left arm up overhead, and very slowly staying in tune with your breath, keeping the right hip down. We're going to move forward into a dancer's pose. Coming back down, we will recenter, take another deep breath, and on your exhale, find that stationary object to gaze upon. You're going to take the left foot with the left hand this time, And when you're ready, core is tight, we're going to raise the right arm and slowly move forward into a beautiful dancer's pose. And from here, we're going to move into eagle pose. This is one that I've been working on. Not quite there yet, but happy to practice with you today. We're going to take the right arm, put it underneath the left arm, holding the hands together, palms facing each other, crossing the right leg over the left. And if you can, bring that right leg behind the left calf. And we're holding here for a few breaths. Beautifully done, and now we'll move on to the other side. So left arm will now be under the right, and left leg will now be over the right as well. Trying to keep those elbows off of the chest. We're extending the arms up in front of our face, and really opening up the back. Nicely done. We'll take a deep, appreciative breath for our practice so far, and we'll come to face sideways on our mats. We're going to extend the legs just further than hip distance apart. Arms come out to either side. We're going to twist and bring that right arm all the way up. This is really opening up the hips, opening up the rib cage. And when you're done, we'll move to the other side, now pressing the right hand into the right hip. As we twist, opening up the rib cage, opening up those hips further. Coming back to center and moving to the other side once more. A couple more times like this. And coming back to center, we'll take the right arm and extend it up overhead, pressing that right leg into the ground, opening up the outer hips, also focusing into the glutes, pressing into the hip that's receiving that stretch. And now pressing across the body, tabletop all the way down, stretching that leg. And coming back up and moving to the other side. Left arm comes across. We extend as far as we can and drop that left arm to meet the right ankle. Coming back to center, we'll move to a forward fold all the way down, holding on to the backs of the legs, really pulling the chest in toward the thighs. Extending up into a halfway lift and coming back down. And when you're ready, we'll move our hands, walk them toward one side of your mat. And then we'll find ourselves in a downward facing dog to Chaturanga, and then into an upward facing dog where we'll take a pause, a deep breath here, and when you're ready, pressing hips back into a child's pose. And on your next inhale, we're going to bring the hips up toward the sky, moving into a downward facing dog, Bringing the left leg so that the left shin is aligned with the top of your mat, we'll move into a pigeon pose. You want to make sure that your hips are facing the front of your mat and just pressing into this stretch. And when you're ready, coming up into a downward facing dog, we're going to pedal out the feet, shake out that left leg, and we're going to move into the other side, pigeon pose. Right leg comes up, right shin is aligned with the top of your mat, hips are facing forward, and just holding this, breathing into the pose. And moving into our final hip opener, you'll find yourselves seated on your mat. You're going to take your right leg and bring it up onto the left knee. And from here, you're going to feel a very intense stretch in that right leg, in that right hip, just breathing into that. The goal is to ultimately bring the right knee down to meet the left leg that's currently on the ground. But if it's not within your practice today, we're just breathing and appreciating where we're at today. Beautifully done, and we'll move on to the other side. Now it's the left ankle connecting with the right knee, and the left knee is trying to connect with the right ankle down on the mat. Again, just breathing, appreciating where you are now. Great work. Planting both feet on the ground in front of you, let's windshield wipe those legs back and forth. You've done so much today. If it's within your practice, lifting those hands up, nice little challenge. Don't allow yourself to fall back. And when you're ready, we're going to very slowly, vertebrae by vertebrae, find our ways back down onto our mats, engaging that core, and take a deep inhale and exhale all of that hard work for today. Inhale, let's bring the knees in toward the chest. We'll roll out the low back, making small circles with the knees. Bringing the feet back down, we're going to extend the arms up overhead and really stretch out the body. Let's try to get those toes to hit the wall and the hands to hit the other wall. And when you're ready, we're going to take that right leg, bring it up, straighten. If you can hold onto your ankle, maybe it's the shin, maybe it's the knee, maybe it's the thigh. And just moving the body, in toward the chest, in toward the belly. And coming up into seated for our final moments, I want you to take a second here to just appreciate yourself, thank yourself for doing this workout, for doing this yoga practice, And I thank you so much. I wish you all the best in the rest of your day.